Professional, welcome to the explainer. Calm. Oh, okay, let's dive into this. Energetic. Today, we're completely demystifying the push-up. Warm, it's such a fundamental exercise, but man, it is so frustrating for so many of us. Confident. So we're going to look at an incredibly clear, foolproof progression from the source material that absolutely guarantees results. Serious, right out of the gate. Here is a single, somewhat ego-crushing number for you, 53%. Serious? That is the percentage of Americans who cannot do 10 push-ups. Warm. So if you're in that group, you are literally in the majority. Relaxed. Let's just get out of our own heads about it right now. Empathetic. It is incredibly common to struggle with this movement. Curious. But this leads us to a really vital question, right? Curious. Why do we fail so often? Curious. Why is it that our arms just totally give out on rep 1? Or our hips drop and our face inevitably meets the floor every time we try? Serious, well, the truth is the problem usually isn't just pure weakness. Serious, the problem is almost entirely our approach. Professional. Section 1. The video game mindset. Confident, to fix our approach, we really need a major mental shift. Enthusiastic, think of building strength exactly like a video game. Serious. As this quote perfectly puts it, you don't start Dark Souls on the final boss. Serious. And a full push-up, that is the final boss of this specific movement. Persuasive, we can't just skip the early levels, get frustrated when we instantly lose to the boss and give up. Strong, there's no way around it. Determined, we have to grind level 1 until we are truly ready to advance. Professional, section 2, choose your starting level. Calm, okay, here is our literal level up map. Serious. And this is the moment where you really have to select your starting character level based strictly on reality, not the level you wish you were at. Professional. We start right at level 1 with the wall push-up, then move to level 2, high incline. Calm, think like a high table. Professional, then level 3, lower advanced incline, roughly hip height. Professional, from there, level 4 is the knee push-up, professional. Level 5 is the alternating push-up where you lower down like a full push-up, but push up from your knees, professional. And finally, level 6 is the full push-up. Serious, remember this. Every single intermediate level here exists strictly because someone out there skipped it, tried to jump ahead and paid the price by completely failing. Curious, let's look a little closer at level 1, wall push-ups. Calm, you just stand facing a wall, hands at shoulder height, lean in and push back out. Empathetic. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Understanding? You're thinking this is entirely too easy, and you'd rather just skip right ahead to knee push-ups. Persuasive. But a lot of people think wall push-ups don't count until they actually try doing 3 sets of 50. Confident. Trust me, they quickly realize it is way harder than it looks. Serious. It humbles people fast. Warm. This really is the ultimate starting point if every other variation has beaten you up. Serious. Now, check out the brutal physics gap exposed here between knee push-ups and regular push-ups. Serious. This is exactly where most people get stuck forever. Serious. They can crank out 50 knee push-ups, but can't do a single real one. Curious. Why? Professional. Because on your knees, you're supporting about 60% of your body weight, but regular push-ups demand 75%. Serious. To put that into perspective, that is a massive jump. Persuasive. This brilliantly illustrates why people end up spinning their wheels for 6 months if they don't use those incline levels in between to bridge that load cap. Professional. Section 3. Rules for leveling up. Confident. If you actually want to progress without getting stuck, you've got to follow this cheat sheet with absolute discipline. Professional. First, pick the level where you can realistically do 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Calm. And you only do this 2 to 3 times a week, not every day. Serious, here's the absolutely crucial point. Serious, muscles grow when you rest, not when you train. Strong, that's a fundamental truth of building strength. Excited, and your level up trigger? Confident, when you successfully hit 3 sets of 12 clean reps, boom, you unlock the next level. Serious, but notice I specifically said clean reps. Professional. A clean rep means your body is perfectly straight from your head down to your feet. Professional, it means a full range of motion. Professional, you're going all the way down and all the way up with total control of the movement. Serious? Cheating? Serious? That's sagging your hips, sticking your butt up in the air, or just dropping and bouncing off the floor. Strong, and let me tell you, sagging hips will not trigger a level up. Calm. Let's map this out on a timeline to set some realistic expectations. Professional, if you start at your true level in week 1, a standard progression takes about 6 to 8 weeks to go from the wall to a full push-up if you are consistent. Warm, but hey, some people take longer, and that is totally fine. Encouraging, the source data points out one person who spent 4 entire months just going from the wall to an incline. Encouraging, it was a long, slow grind, but guess what? Confident, they still made it. Inspirational, that is what matters. Inspirational, consistency always wins out in the end. Professional, Section 4, troubleshooting form and pain. Curious. So what happens when you encounter a physical glitch in the game, the biggest one we hear about? Curious, are your wrists hurting? Empathetic. If so, you are definitely not alone. Serious, in fact, wrist pain actually stops more people from doing push-ups than weak chest muscles do. Serious, it's a massive, super frustrating roadblock. Optimistic? Luckily, as you can see right here, there are 2 instant mechanical fixes. Professional. First, just turn your hands out slightly instead of pointing your fingers straight forward. Professional. If that doesn't work, actually just use your fists instead of flat palms to keep the wrist joint completely neutral. Enthusiastic. These tiny tweaks are absolute game changers. Curious now, here's the second major glitch. Curious, is your core giving out before your chest? Professional. You'll know this is happening if your hips start to sag toward the floor while your chest and arms still have plenty of energy left to keep pushing. Confident. The solution here is incredibly simple, but highly effective. Confident. Just add planks after your push-up sets. Enthusiastic. Seriously, that's it. Professional. This builds the necessary core stability, so your midsection can actually keep up with your arms as you progress through the heavier levels. Professional. Section 5. Excited. Beating the final boss inspirational. Once you grind through those levels, follow the rules, rest appropriately, and finally hit those full, clean push-ups, you have completely conquered the movement. Excited. But you know what's truly amazing? Enthusiastic. The push-up is really just level 1. Inspirational. Conquering it with this exact progression playbook unlocks the remaining 50 levels of calisthenics. Energetic. We are talking about unlocking pull-ups, dips, pistol squats, handstands, the whole shebang. Serious, every single one of these advanced movements has the exact same trap. Serious, people skip progressions, wonder why they're completely stuck, and then they just blame their genetics. Confident, but this calisthenics playbook maps every movement from 0 to advanced. Professional, you learn not just what to do, but exactly why it works. Inspirational, it takes you from an overwhelmed beginner to actually understanding your training for the very first time. Curious, which brings us to our final and honestly most provocative question to leave you with. Curious, what is your true starting level today? Empathetic, most people give up after 3 tries and just decide push-ups aren't for them. Encouraging, but you have the entire progression now. Motivational, the map is right in front of you. Strong, so drop your ego. Don't throw in the towel after a few failed attempts. Encouraging, even if starting at the wall feels a little silly, just do it anyway. Motivational, pick your level, start your progression right now, and do it for yourself. Warm, thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you at the next level.